welcome to Inquiring Minds. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen review. As soon as this Jinhao 1935 came on the market, my email box was flooded with at least 2 or 3 emails. Doug's mailbag. Letting me know that Jinhao had made a fountain pen for me because it has a guitar on the clip and I'm a guitar player. As a guitar player, I kept my mouth shut. Well, until now. Because this isn't a guitar right here, this is a ukulele. But perhaps even Jinhao didn't know. Regardless, there's a lot going on with this tribute pen. It isn't a tribute to a guitar or a ukulele, but to patriotism and nationalism for China. Some reviewers of this pen have said that they won't discuss the, quote, politics of this pen. But if there was a pen that was covered in red and white stripes with gold stars on a blue background, I doubt you'd ignore it and just focus on the pen. The pen is all about symbolism, and the inner story is this is a lovely writer with a large number 8 size nib and huge converter. So let's take a look at it right now. Another package from China. What could this be? I'm betting it's a fountain pen. And here it is. This is the new Jinhao Tiandao 1935. I saw this pen for sale and immediately pulled the trigger on it. And then I got a whole bunch of people writing me saying, have you seen this pen? Have you seen this pen? Doug's going to love that because it's got a guitar on it. Well, we'll see whether that's a guitar. My thinking is it is not a guitar. And no, it's not a violin either. It's a nice big red pen. It's plastic body. It looks like a piston filler, and it's not. It's a cartridge converter. It's the big cartridge converter that's in the 9019. This is the same screw-in 1 milliliter cartridge converter that Jinhao puts in the 9019, so I'm sure that's compatible. And the nib is a number 8 size nib as well, and that section looks like the 9019 as well. Here's the 9019, and the sections, well, it's a bit smaller, isn't it? Maybe it's the 9016. Here's the 9016, and it's just a bit larger than the 9016. Same length, thicker girth. So it is its own section. They haven't taken the mold from another pen, they've made it for this pen. I'm going to have to find out what exactly Tiandao means in Chinese, or there's something to do with 1935 and China with that gold star on a red field under that lucite acrylic cap. It has crossed swords, which is unusual, but might again have some cultural significance. Let's see whether the nib unit comes out. Well, interesting. No, it does not. Very interesting. That's not screwed in. That is friction fit. Wonder why they would have done that. I don't want to break it. So we will find some ink for this pen. What do you think? Red? I don't know. Black? Gold? Maybe instead of red, some golden beryl from Pelican. All you're going to see is the ink in that section right there. And no, I wouldn't eyedropper this. That's got a seam there, and that's all metal. So we'll clean this out, ink it up, and put it through its paces. The Jinhao 1935 Tiandao. And I'll show the parts and features of this pen, some size comparisons and measurements, and then provide a writing sample. And then I'll talk about what I like and what I don't like so much about this fountain pen. The elephant in the room, of course, is this pen is designed to celebrate Chinese national pride. I'm not being political at all, just being realistic, and pointing out the reasons there are these features on this pen. First, it is in red and gold, Forbidden City red, as a matter of fact, the colors of China and the Chinese flag. It has a single gold star on a red background on the top finial. The model number is 1935, a significant year in China's history, and the year of the death of the man that this pen pays homage. The pen's name is Tiandao, which translates to Heaven's Way. The guitar, actually a ukulele, but they meant it as a guitar, points to a musical tribute to Ni Air. I'm probably pronouncing that badly, but substitute your own pronunciation here. And Ni Er is the composer of the March of the Volunteers, the Chinese national anthem. So there's a lot of Chinese history, nationalism, and symbolism in the design of this fountain pen. Let's explore these design points, and then we'll look at the pen itself, its features. And you don't have to take my word for it. Listen to what Jinhao says about this fountain pen. Jinhao Tiandao 1935, The History and Glory Beneath the Nib. When you pick up the Jinhao Tiandao 1935 series fountain pen, you seem to be grasping a legend of history. The guitar-shaped clip, inspired by Ni Er's March of the Volunteers, exudes passion and power in your grasp. The transparent barrel, paired with Forbidden City Red, highlights a perfect blend of classical and modern aesthetics. The pen's tip, with its unique double-edged design, is exquisite and uses an 8-grade iridium nib for a smooth and effortless writing experience. The yellow 5-pointed star on the top of the cap symbolizes glory and magnificence. This fountain pen not only boasts a dual-use ink system for convenient writing, but is also a heartfelt tribute to Chinese culture and musical spirit. The Jinhao Tiandao 1935 series captures your legend and carries the power of cultural inheritance. I'm surprised they didn't expound on the glory of the converter and the magnificence of the disposable cartridge. So the pen is a tribute to the composer of the Chinese national anthem, who died in 1935 and has gone heaven's way. The pen is a symbol of Chinese national pride. I think it looks cool. It's a bit clunky for my taste, but anything that is uber patriotic tends to look a bit silly to players from the other teams. From the top, we see the clear acrylic finial, which houses the red metallic emblem with the 5-pointed yellow star embedded. Then there is a double groove gold metal band separating the top from the Forbidden City Red injection molded plastic cap. The cap is straight to a double grooved gold metal cap band that says Jinhao on one side and Tiandao number 1935 on the other, in large block letters filled with texture. The guitar-shaped clip is very stiff, with a ball under the guitar that doesn't help it to clip to things. Just to be pedantic here, a guitar has 6 strings, and a 4-stringed instrument is either a ukulele or a bass, and I doubt Gene Simmons would be caught playing a bass this shape. The cap tapers down to the clear plastic barrel, which shows the large capacity screw-in Jinhao converter we've come to love from the Jinhao X159 and 9019. The barrel is straight to another gold metal ring that separates the barrel from the red plastic end finial, which has a flat bottom. And this is where Jinhao really missed an opportunity in my mind. If they had made this end finial screw off, pardon me, I'm not telling them to screw off, just make this screw off. Never mind. You could access the end of that converter to prime the nib without having to remove the entire barrel, much like my beloved Leonardo Momento Zero does. The cap unscrews with 1 and a bit of a turn to reveal a barrel-shaped red plastic section with a small flare towards the number 8 size steel Jinhao medium nib and black plastic feed. This section is very familiar if you have the Jinhao X159 or 9019. Let's get a closer look at this nib. It has a special stamping or engraving instead of the typical Jinhao markings. We have 2 crossed swords right there, the Jinhao Chariot logo, Jinhao and M for medium. The nib and feet are not part of a nib assembly. At least I couldn't get this one to budge, and I expect it's glued in. The nib and feet are friction fit and can be pulled, but the nib collar cannot unscrew, at least on mine anyway. The section unscrews to reveal the large screw-in Jinhao large capacity converter. This thing takes a lot of ink, around 1 milliliter of ink. The section and nozzle is gold-colored metal, as is the band on the converter, which is engraved with Jinhao. And there is a silicone O-ring at the top of that section to keep the barrel from unscrewing during use. And here's something nice. Jinhao has made the inside of the end finial fit the diameter of the tail of the converter so that it doesn't rattle around inside there like it does on the 9019 and 9016. And the inside of the cap shows a ledge that meets up with the top of the section to seal that nib from evaporation. The cap posts securely, but not too deeply, and that cap is weighted towards the top finial, so that back weights the pen. But it's way too long posted for me to write with anyway. Unposted, the pen is nicely balanced in the hand. Full of ink and unposted, the pen is relatively light at 17.5 grams. I bought this pen from Sally's Easy Buy on Etsy for about $15.60 US. They are available with fine or medium nibs. Now let's look at some size comparisons. And here is the Jinhao 1935 Tiandao with a Jinhao 9019, a Jinhao 100 Centennial, a Wingsung 630 piston filler, and an Asvine V200 vacuum filler. Now let's look at them posted. And here they are posted. The best poster in the group is the Wingsung 630, which also has a number 8 size nib, but this is a 14 karat gold number 8 size nib. Very bouncy and flexible. And this is a beautiful pen. The others are almost too long to write with posted, except for the 9019. It is a bit long, but it's nicely balanced and that cap weighs nothing. Now let's look at them unposted. And here they are unposted. And that Jinhao 100 Centennial doesn't have the original Jinhao number 6 size steel nib in it. It has an italics, cursive italic oblique broad nib in it that I got from Mr. Pen many years ago, and that's a beautiful nib. So forgive me that doesn't have the original nib on it. I do use these pens, and I can't keep them in the original condition for you. I get a lot of mail complaining that I don't keep my pens in the original condition so they can see them. Go buy one. They're not that expensive, and you'll find out. Now let's look at some measurements, and I'll be back with a writing sample. And we're back with the writing portion of the review. This is Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper, and this is the Jinhao 1935 Tiandao. And it has a number 8 size steel medium nib. Let's check the wetness here. And it's very wet and extremely smooth. This is one of the smoothest out of the box Jinhao nibs I've ever experienced. There's almost no feedback whatsoever. Let's put my mic next to it here. So that's what your pen will sound like if you have your ear right next to the page, which I know is the most comfortable writing position for many of you.
It's over. I glued my head to my shoulder.
And the ink today is what I think is a perfect match for this pen. It is Pelikan, the ink of the year for 2021, Edelstein Golden Barrel. It has a wonderful gold shimmer to it. And when it's wet, it's quite light, but when it dries, it's a lot darker, so you can actually read it. But let's look at some of that shimmer. Maybe you can see it there. There we go, in the ABCD. You can see some of that shimmer in there. And let's try some line variation. There is a little bit of bounce to this nib, very surprising. It's probably because of the nib architecture, the size of that nib, more than the material. And the line this nib makes is 0.5 millimeters, which is a Western fine to medium or a Japanese medium to broad on my Richard Binder line width chart, which you can find linked in the description below. And for our quote. And for some reverse writing. It's a lot thinner and drier and a lot scratchier. And some quick writing. No issues whatsoever. I've been using this pen for several days now, and that feed is keeping up with that large, juicy nib beautifully. So what do I like and what do I not like about this fountain pen? I got this pen because people wanted to see me have it because of my love of guitars and fountain pens. Well, as a guitar, this pen sucks.
But this whole place sucks. That's right, it sucks.
And as a fountain pen, and just a fountain pen, it writes very smoothly and wet and is comfortable in the hand, unposted, and the converter is that large capacity Jinhao converter that I've come to love in my 9019 and my X159s. As for its design, it's an interesting conversation piece, but that's about it. It is clunky and 180 degrees from anything you'd call sleek or austere. I don't believe I will keep this pen filled with ink or use it again past this review. But thanks to all of you ukulele fans for bringing it to my attention. I'll go play my Gibson now. And there you have it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. You can also join as a member of my channel for only 99 cents a month, and I guarantee I'll answer your comments in the comment section, and you'll get cool emojis, badges, sneak peek unboxing videos, as well as early access to all of my videos the moment I post them. And that just leaves it for me to say, thank you for watching. And that's all she wrote.
I made this.